What's up guys, it's Spider back for another Umamusume video. So today we're going to be going over the brand new Christmas banner coming out with Christmas curry cap, Christmas BIWA, and as well as the brand new support card banner. But yeah, before I get started, I'd really appreciate it if you guys drop me a like and subscribe. It would really help me out trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. But with that being said, let's get right into this. So, of course, as usual, got the brand new the infographic basically that shows all the stuff we're getting, right? What they usually also don't show with these, but you can kind of already guess if you've been playing it for a long time, is that we're also going to be getting an event with this, as well as a free-to-play support card, so we'll be going over that as well. But the big thing, right, is Christmas Aguri Cap is here, and she's really OP, so let's take a look as to why she's so good and why you probably will want to summon for her because of how good she is. Or unless you don't care about Aguri Cap or anything about mana, but if you do care about either one of those things or both, which I kind of do, you might as well summon for her. But let's take a look as to why that is. So her base stats here are going to be 94 speed, 91 stamina, 101 power, which is already quite a lot, 76 guts, and then 78 wit. For her track, she has an A for turf, B for dirt, so she can work pretty good on both, so that's really good to know. For distances, she has E for sprint, A for mile, A for medium, B for long. So miles and medium's great, longs you can make it work, sprint's not really worth it. For style, she has F for front, A for pace, A for late, and D for end, so mainly only a pace chaser and a late runner. Her growth rates are going to be 15% for speed, 15 for stamina, and then that's it, but that's still pretty good. Those two are really good stats. Her unique skill, which is one of the more important things about her as to why she's so good as well, is called Festive Miracle. And basically what it does is that you control breathing and kick forward hard toward victory in the second half of the race after recovering endurance with the skills at least 3 times. So we'll take a look at exactly what that does, right? Because that's just like flavor text, but it doesn't really explain like what exactly it's doing for you. For potential skills here for Ascension, or for ascending her up, she has small breather, so they recover endurance late race as a late surger, gourmand, which is good. The usual Lee Guru, good skill right here. Recover endurance mid race as a pace chaser, 777, slightly gain energy with 777 meters remaining. And then finally, innate experience velocity when near the inner rail on the final corner for long races. So I did hear something important though. Apparently you're gonna want to try to get 777 on her because that's gonna make it it's gonna make her overall kit work better. So trying to get it to Ascension level 4 or putting cards that can get you 777 is probably the way you want to go about it, because she does kind of want 777s to really make her kit work a lot better from what I've kind of heard around a little bit. But I'm sure you can still make it work without it. I just hear that it's quite good. And the next character we have here is BIWA Hayade. Not as hype, but still a cool character. I wouldn't mind pulling her myself, pulling her also myself. But her stats here are going to be 83 speed, 99 stamina, 96 power, or 76 power, 96 guts, and then 96 wit. For track, she has A for turf, F for dirt. Then for distances, she has F for sprint, C for mile, A for medium, A for long, so really good on turf tracks. Great on medium distances and long distances, and then not really good on sprints or miles. For style, she's going to be E for front, A for pace, B for late, E for end, so very similarly to Aguri Cap here. But Aguri Cap is AA, whereas she's AB, so mainly pace chaser, but you can maybe make her work as a late runner. For her growth rates, it's going to be 12% into stamina, 12% into power, and then 6% into wit. Not too bad, a little bit more evened out. And her unique skill here is going to be presence from X, so increases velocity by deriving a path to victory mid-race after staying well positioned from the start of the race up until the second half. Staying well positioned from the start of the race until the second. We'll take a look what that is in more detail, but I'm assuming since she's a pace chaser, it's basically saying that what if she stays kind of in the same area throughout the whole race, if that makes sense, where all the other Umas are, how there's the front half and then the back half. I'm assuming since she's gonna probably be between there, it's basically saying until the second half, then she'll get a speed boost basically. But that sounds pretty good in my opinion. Maybe not broken, but we'll take a look at if it is really good or not. And then for pace, her essential skills here, we're gonna have pace chaser savvy, so moderately increase ability to get into a good position as a pace chaser. VIP pass, decrease fatigue when determined to pass another runner for long races. Pace chaser straightaways, slightly increase velocity on a straight as a pace chaser. And finally, in body and mind, increase velocity in the last spurt, which usually gold skills for the most part are pretty good, so that is very nice. Going on forward, we have Mayana Top Gun for the support card banner, the Christmas support card banner and all that. So this one's career event's going to be restless, so reduce fatigue on an uphill as a front runner. It's also going to be speed focused, so that's pretty cool. And then the second one we have here is going to be Wit Focus for Narita Taishin. And this one's going to have Sleeping Lion, decrease fatigue mid-race as an end closer, which, if I'm correct, okay, no, never mind. I was going to say maybe it works on upgrade cap. I mean, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe it'll still be worth it to run. And then, yeah, all right. So let's get into a little bit more details, right, of what the Umas have and what they do. So starting off with, we got BIWA Hayade here, the Christmas version. So let's see. So yeah, her unique skills here, presents from X. So yeah, so that's still the same. Let's see details. So for details here, does it give anything else important or no? It's like the code kind of got broken a little bit here. Looks like you just get the speed increase here, and it's only for like 5 seconds. But all right, nothing too different, I suppose. And then her innate skills here are going to be home stretch haste, passing pro, and then preferred position. Then we went over her awakening skills here. And then here's going to be her evolve skills. So for VIP pass, this one, decrease fatigue when determined to pass another runner for long races. And then the upgraded version is going to be VIP back view. So for long races, if your stamina will greatly recover when you're about to overtake somebody. So as a pace chaser, going to work really well. She's going to be able to pass some front runners. That's going to be great. And then the condition for this one's going to be when any G1 races 3 times and get at least 2 recovery type skills, which shouldn't be too difficult. That one's quite easy, I think, for the most part. You just got to throw in like at least 3 extra races in there. And then her second one here is going to be in Body and Mind. So in Body and Mind, originally, it just increases your velocity in the last spurt. And the upgraded version is going to be a full power Santa Claus. So at a random point in the first half of the last spurt, your speed will greatly increase. I guess it's not bad. The only thing I don't like is that it's random, because, you know, the increased speed in last spurt's great, but since it's like random, that kind of like, ooh, you know, like not as good. But I think it's still fine for the most part because it is a bigger increase. So overall, it should still be fine. It's just the fact that it's random kind of sucks a little bit. But I guess at the same time, I don't know, this isn't really bad because it does say when you make it to the last spurt, then you get it. Whereas this is just saying at some point in the last spurt, what at some point randomly there, then you'll get it. But in some cases that could be bad because maybe you'll get overtaken by another Uma and then it'll maybe activate a little bit too late and then, you know, the game's over, right? You don't win. But the conditions for this one are going to be have at least 300 power and have at least 600 stamina. So it's going to be a little bit more on the pricey side, so you have to kind of like play around a little bit, but shouldn't be too difficult, I think, for the most part, but definitely the first one's a little bit easier in my opinion. And then our skills from events are going to be Hanshin Race Course, Winner Runner, Pressure, Straightaway Acceleration, Prepare to Pass, and then of course if you guys want to pause the video to take a look at some of these skills, you know, you can do so. But also, you know, do let me know in the future or in the comments if you guys do want me to still read like everything. Otherwise I'm just going to kind of pick and choose like what I read for some of these. But for races here, we got the usual make debut, then we got place 5th or better in the Asahi High Futurity or Stakes, place 5th or better in the Satsuki Show, place 5th or better in the Tokyo Yushin Japanese Derby, place 3rd or better in the Kiko Show, place 3rd or better in Tennis Show Spring, place 1st in the Tarazuka Kennen, and then place 3rd or better in Tennis Show Spring, and finally, or Tennis Show Autumn, I don't know why I said Spring, and then finally place 1st in the Army Kennen. So not too bad. Also kind of cool that it ends in December because of all the Christmas stuff, so that's very nice. I like that. Now getting to the Uma of the Hour, Christmas Oguri Cap or Santa Cap, whatever you want to call her. These are going to be stats in order if you guys want to check that out. But we already went over that. It's just like these are more the if you have, you know, if you want to chase for dupes, which I personally wouldn't want to go for, but you know, there you go. So let's see, does this give me more details? Okay, so this is what her unique skill will give you. So her unique skill is going to increase your speed by 0.25. It's going to increase your acceleration by 0.3, and it's going to give you stamina recovery of 0.035. Stats wise, like I don't know like how good that is, but at the very least what I do know is that these effects are really good. So you get essentially velocity, acceleration, and stamina recovery, 3 really useful things in her like what is it, in this skill, which is really great. And then activation is guaranteed. And then let's see, anything else? So yeah, so basically what it's saying here is that if you activate at least 3 recovery skills, then in the second half of the race your speed and acceleration will increase and you'll recover more stamina. So essentially, as long as you get 3 blue skills popping off, then you will activate this skill and you'll get this really good bonus, right? So you gotta have at least 3 blue skills that just pop off which I think if we go back to 777 here, slightly gain energy with 7 meters remaining, which should be make it a little bit easier. And then also Gourmand's gonna help you out with that. So yeah, so literally if you like US Ender, at least up to the 4th here, these will basically all proc, and then you'll be able to get this juicy festive miracle to pop off. And the thing is that this will always happen in the second half of the race, right? So this will be guaranteed. So literally if you get that, you're gonna be good to go. But she also has innate skills here, so she has Shake It Out, slightly recover endurance after activating many skills late race, which you're gonna probably want because that's gonna be really useful, because she's gonna be able to do that for sure. You got Inside Scoop, slightly increased velocity when near the inner rail on the final corner for long races. And then finally Hydrate, slightly recover endurance mid-race as a pace chaser, which I think transforms into Gorman, but I don't remember for sure. But that's still pretty good. I mean, that's like the same thing, no? Should Gorman recover endurance mid-race? Yeah, so this is like, yeah, so these are like the lower versions, and then these are like the upgraded versions, right? And then these are going to be her evolve skills. So for Gorman, we all know what Gorman does, right? You know, Gorman basically the one where it's like, hey, you're covering endurance mid-race as a pace chaser, really good. So the upgraded version is going to be Gluttonous Regime, and then basically at a random point during the middle part of the race, your stamina will greatly recover, so that's really cool. And then basically just in the conditions for this one is going to be that in a certain training event, you select the third option or get slow metabolism status effect. And then you have to get at least 2 recovery type skills, which should be very easy. The next one here, we got Innate Experience. So Innate Experience, this one is going to be increased velocity when near the inner rail on the final corner for long races. And this will upgrade into the first-hand Christmas Miracle. So for long races during the final corner, if you're running next to the inner fence, your speed will increase and your stamina will slightly recover. That's quite good. So the conditions for this one are going to be win Army Cannon twice, or have at least 800 speed. So you're probably going to go with the speed one, but you might be able to do Army Cannon twice. And then you have to have at least 150,000 fans, which also shouldn't be too difficult. Just going to do a couple more extra races to get that going for yourself. And then our skills from events are going to be Nakayama Racecourse, Hydrate, and Winter Runner, so not too bad. Might as well pick up Winter Runner because, you know, she's like winter based, and I'm assuming a lot of races are going to be, you know, in the winter season. So, you know, if you have the extra spare points, maybe you want to pick it up. For her races though, they're going to be the make debut. I'll have at least 3,000 fans. Place 5th or better in the NHK Mile Cup. Place 3rd or better in the Mile Championship. Place 3rd or better in the Army Cannon. Place 3rd or better in 2 G1 races. And then place 1st in the Tennis Show Autumn. And finally, place 1st in Army Cannon. So in this place 3rd or better for 2 G1 races, you have a chance, I'm assuming, of Army Cannon popping up. So you might be able to like grab it from there, I'm assuming. But yeah, very cool. I can definitely see why she's considered one of the best Umas in the game, at least for global at the moment now, because these skills are quite good and they all work together for the most part. And the fact that like this unique skill is quite strong because it literally does 3 different things, and the requirements aren't really that difficult. So that is quite good, and I can definitely see why she's quite amazing for that, especially if you want to like pair her up. And next we'll go to the support cards. As usual, we'll look at it as 0 dupes, and then we'll look at it at full MLB. So as 0 dupes here for the Narita Tension one, or Taishin, we got unique effects, increased speed when training together, increases the frequency at which the character participates in the preferred training by 20, friendship bonus 25, race bonus 5%, fan bonus 15%, whip friendship recovery 3, training effectiveness 5%, and finally initial friendship gauge 20. At MLB, it's now going to be 35% friendship bonus, 10% race bonus, 20% fan bonus, whip recovery 5, friendship recovery 5, training effectiveness 10%, initial friendship gauge 25, which I think is the, okay, up by 5, and finally you get a whip bonus of 1 when you do train together with this card. So overall, not too bad, I think. Love the race bonus, love the fan bonus, and then also the recovery stuff is quite good. For hints here, there's going to be the skills that she gives discounts to. We got Lone Wolf, Lay Low, Calm in Crowd, Standing By, Masterful Gambit, Enclosure Corners, Intense Gaze, and you got a stat gain of +6 wit and +5 skill points. So not too bad. Some of these skills are quite good. Like Enclosure Corners is quite good, I feel like. Masterful Gambit might not be too bad. Standing By doesn't seem too bad as well. Lone Wolf could be kind of good in some situations, so not too bad there. And then there's going to be the skills you actually get from the card itself. So we got Soft Step, slightly decreased fatigue when moving sideways for medium races, passing pro, slightly decreased fatigue when determined to pass another runner for long races, Sleeping Lion, decreased fatigue mid-race as an end closer, Standing By, slightly decreased fatigue mid-race as an end closer, and finally Pressure, slightly increased velocity when passing another runner late race for long races. So as a late runner basically. Okay. Not too bad there, I feel like. And then these are going to be some other things you do get from the card as well from the training events. So for the first training event, you lose some energy, but you get some stats here. And then for this one, you have a chance of getting soft step or passing pro, other good stats there. And then you either get sleeping lion, or you get like a hint +3 for sleeping lion, or a hint +3 for standing by. You probably would go for sleeping lion, which, like I said, at this point in the game, you'll be able to check all this out, so you'll be able to make the right choice, or what choice you want to make, right? Because like it'll literally tell you which option will give you the best one, right? So that's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, it's not too bad, because at least you're guaranteed sleeping line, which sleeping line is not too bad. Decrease fatigue mid-race, but it is only for end closers, so only so many Umas can use that. But I think overall it's still not too bad. Now going into my Top Gun here, it's going to be speed card. So as 0 dupes, the unique effect is going to be increased power when training together by 1, increases initial friendship gauge by initial friendship gauge when beginning a career playthrough by 15. Okay, and the friendship bonus is going to be 20%. Mood effect 40%. Hint level 2, that's quite good. Hint frequency, or I think it's pretty good. Not as good as a level 3, but still pretty good at level 2. Hit frequency 40%. Trading effectiveness 5%. Raise bonus 1%, and fan bonus 5%. Honestly, guys, I think that's kind of good, low-key, because you get like these 3 things, like training effectiveness, race bonus, fan bonus. Even though they're low as 0 dupes, I think that's still pretty good in my opinion. And the hit frequency and hit levels thing is also quite good as well. So I don't know, personally, I think that's really cool. I think that's really good. At MLB though, it's going to be 25% friendship bonus gauge, or friendship bonus, I mean. A mood effect is going to be 50% now. Hit level 3, hit frequency 50%. Training effectiveness 5%, race bonus 5%, fan bonus 10%, speed bonus 1 when training together, and specialty priority 80. So basically increase the frequency at which the character participates in the preferred training type. Honestly, at a face value for the passives here, pretty good in my opinion. I think personally that's pretty good. Not super like honed in, but there's like a lot of good stuff here where I think like it's a pretty good balance, where I think this is like a pretty good card here already, in my opinion so far. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong a little bit as to how like where it stands, right? Anyways, because I mean like no one has really like talked about it too crazy, so I'm assuming this card probably isn't that crazy, but I don't know. I think overall looks pretty good. But going on to the hints here, we got non-standard distance, straightaway recovery, corner adept, straightaway adept, nimble navigator, go with the flow, and then you get a stat gain of +6 speed and +2 power. For the hints you give here, to be H, I'm being honest with you guys, I guess corner depth, straightaway depth is kind of nice because it does give you a bit more leeway depending on like what you're doing, because you know almost any Uma can use this, I think, for the most part. Nimble navigator isn't too bad. Go with the flow is okay. I guess these aren't too crazy for skills, but like yeah, it's like that's not that crazy, but it's okay, I guess. As like a third speed option if you're running like 3 speed cards, I guess that's like a decent option. Skills from events here are going to be head on, so slight increased acceleration when positioned towards the front of the race as a pace chaser, competitive spirit, moderately increased performance when there are many other runners that are using the same strategy, restless, reduced fatigue on uphill as a front runner, and then finally straightaway adept, slightly increased velocity on a straight. So yeah, I think the skills aren't too crazy because I don't really see anything that's crazy, but the passive is pretty good. I just think the skills that you give hints for and the skills you get from the actual card itself aren't super duper crazy. I mean, head on's not too bad. Competitive spirit could be quite good. Restless is only gonna be good at front runners, and then but even then, like I don't know if the, like fatigue on uphill is gonna be that useful unless you know there's like some races you're gonna be doing where there's gonna be an uphill and you're gonna be using a front runner, then it could be good there. Otherwise, not too crazy. And then for the actual, let's see, so that's random events. For the actual events for the card, you get some mood. So you get mood from this. I guess that could be quite good. You got stamina one here and energy. That's pretty good. You get a competitive spirit out of this one. But if you do choose the bottom option, it does end the whole chain, so that kind of does suck. But you do get some energy out of this, so that's kind of good in that regard. And then if you were to continue, then you get speed, guts, and then you get energy at the end, and you get a hint for restless, which is this one. So I guess the events also aren't too bad as well, but not as good. I do feel like the Narita Taishin one is a bit better than the Mayana Top Gun one, but I don't think they're like too bad, but also like probably not super broken to the point where you need to chase after these. Last one we have here is the support card banner. All right, last one we have here, my bad, I don't know why I said banner. I meant to say last one that we have here is the free-to-play event farmable support card, Marvelous Sunday. I don't know, whenever I do these Uma videos, I guess because I'm trying to talk kind of fast, my fucking throat just starts dying and like I just get saliva or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna take a look at this. I just MLB because it's free to play one. You can just grind it out. It is gonna be MLB because, you know, it's fairly attainable, especially now with a lot of the QOL. It's gonna be strength focused. So at MLB, you're gonna be getting unique effect of increased friendship bonus or increased effectiveness of friendship training by 10%, increased stat gain from races by 5%, friendship bonus 25%, initial stamina 35%, initial power 35%, raise bonus 10%, fan bonus 10% or 20%, initial friendship gauge 20%, and stamina bonus 1. Honestly, for passive stuff here, not bad. I honestly don't think it's that bad. 10% race bonus is pretty good. 20% fan bonus isn't too bad. And then you get an additional 5% stat gain for races. I think that's pretty good. And then these are going to be the hints she gives for these like different skills here. So we got straightaway adept, ramp up, tailed held high, hesitant front runners, hesitant pace chasers, +2 stamina and +6 power. These three are pretty good. These two could be good, but like if you're running like a debuff Uma, otherwise these are kind of just like whatever skills. But these three I think are pretty good. So yeah, not bad indeed in my opinion. Though yeah, no, these are good. I was gonna say like some of these are only better with like some other ones that are like paced late and end, but like I mean these are still really good in my opinion. Not super broken, but still pretty good skills in my opinion. Skills from events here, we got cloudy days, some moderate increased performance during cloudy weather, fast and furious, increased velocity mid-race as a late surger, that could be pretty good. Position pilfer, slightly increased velocity mid-race as a late surger. And then finally, Hanshin Race Course, which is just increased performance in Hanshin Race Courses. For the events here that this card does give you, you have +10 speed. Then you have a chance of getting +10 energy or +2 hints for cloudy days and more bond. And the last one here is going to be you either get +5 stamp or +5 speed, +5 skill points, fast and furious, +3 hints, and the bond. Then we have +5 speed, +10 skill points. You got position pilfer, +3 hints. Which yeah, honestly I'd probably pick the first option here. I think this one's a bit better, but you do get like +5 extra skill points from this one, so I mean it's literally just up to you, right? Cause like you'll literally see options, but you're not too bad. Honestly, I think it's a pretty good free to play card, like not gonna lie, I think it's pretty good. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Google Doc, right? The usual stuff, as well as the tier list to see where these like land, as well as like with people that know a bit more than me, because I like using these quite a bit. So let's take a look at where both of these Umas land. And also really quick, if you guys don't know or whatever, one is not that good. Basically, if you just use them, you use them if you just like them, otherwise they're not really worth using. And then 5 is meta. Alrighty, so we're gonna I'll show you guys Christmas Great Cap in a bit because there's a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but we'll do a BIWA High Day here first. So sorry if it's kind of down here, I'll scroll up in a little bit. But for Christmas BIWA High Day, so our range is gonna be 3 for Pace Chaser, 4 for Team Trials as a long Pace Chaser, and 2 as a parent. So in short, she is mid as like a Uma runner. Like she can be kind of good but not super crazy. She's pretty good in Team Trials, not meta but still pretty good. And then as a parent, she's not really that great, unfortunately. So Christmas BIWA is just an average Uma with nothing special about her. In CM, she won't be able to compete against the meta frontrunners in long races. Outside of long races, she has even less going on for her, losing her gold recovery. If you're a BIWA fan, she does get another alter later, which I'm assuming is probably a bit better. But yeah, basically in short, this BIWA Hide is just like mid, not bad, but also not crazy. So she's like an okay option, but nothing you really want to chase after. But yeah, let's take a look at Christmas Augury Cap. So for Christmas Augury Cap here, we got 4 as a front runner, 5 as a pace chaser, 5 as a late surger, 5 as an end closer, 5 in Team Trials, and then 4 as a parent. So basically all around, very, very strong. Basically meta in almost every single regard of like every single thing in the game, right? She's really good. So let's take a look at the little suburb here. So where to begin with Christmas Augury Cap, or X Augury, whatever you want to call her, or Christmas Cap. She's by far the strongest Uma in the game currently. On 2,000 to about 2,200 meters tracks, she can trigger her unique 777 to get speed recovery, carryover, and excel as any style. On tracks with a downhill near spurt, she can be an end closer with downhill recovery tracks. So keep that in mind depending on like which ones you want to go her on or put her on. On tracks with uphill near spurt, she can be a front runner and use uphill recovery. That's high effort due to her low front runner aptitude. Even without a good trigger, she can pick 3-phase random 1 recoveries, underline below, and gamble. She's basically immune to stamina debuffs. Even V Bourbon sometimes inherits her unique. Here's a list of perfectly consistent recoveries you can use for gold. Only golds are listed though. So for let's see, all I'm assuming all, like if you want to below again for any kind of race or whatever. Burning Spirit, stamina, 777s, Maestro, Breath of Fresh Air. For front, you're gonna want to have Restless. For pace, you're gonna want Gourmand and Race Planner. As an enclosure, you're gonna want After School Specialist. For medium races, you're gonna want Merciless Step. For long races, you're gonna want cooldown of McQueen's Wit skill. Okay, and then you only want 3 recoveries for her in CM. 4 if Tachyon's unique is similar to 777. You'll also want to avoid recoveries not listed above to maximize consistency. In team trials, you can get as many recoveries as you can afford, as timing isn't important. So pretty cool stuff here. Very versatile, has a lot of stuff going on for her. So overall, really good Ilma, really good pickup for you guys right there. So yeah, so if you get Christmas Curry Cup, consider yourselves lucky because you got one of the best Ilmas in the game at the moment. So really cool stuff. Now let's take a look at the support cards. So the first one we're going to be looking at, of course, for the tier list is going to be Narita Tension. Now I was kind of messing around a little bit more because I realized, maybe a little bit too late, but I realized there's many tabs here, and these are based off like this. The tier list will change based on to like what cards are better for the different pieces of content. So we got You Are Away, Ahura or Aohara, or whatever you want to call it. This is Unity Cup. And then the other 4 here are going to be for future scenarios we're going to be getting. So right now we only have Unity Cup and URA, but you're only really going to be farming Unity Cup right now in global because it's better than URA, right? So we're going to be taking a look at Unity Cup. So for Narita, our girl Narita here as a wit card, she's going to be over down at 0 dupes. I saw her earlier. Where was she? Alright, so 0 dupes Narita here is going to be F tier, which makes sense because 0 dupes is 0 dupes, for especially for any cards, especially also even more for SSR cards. At 4 dupes though, is going to be here in E tier, and it's going to be higher than this free-to-play support card here, but they're kind of on the same tier. And then at MOB, it's going to bump up, or Narita's going to bump up over here at 390 for stats, and it is going to be below this this SR support card at MOB, and it's also going to be below I think this is BIWA if I remember correctly, or maybe I'm going to name wrong, but yeah, that's kind of, and also it's below our girl not Xmas, I swear I forget these damn names sometimes, but yeah, basically that's kind of where it stands. So the reason I mentioned that is because we're going to go on global real quick, so take a look at where this one will land. So on global for Unity Cup here, that means that our girl Narita is gonna basically be E tier here, somewhere along the lines of E tier, maybe D tier, but basically between E to D tier. So really not like it's usable, like she's usable, but like the best thing in the game at the moment is fine motion. Otherwise everything else kind of drops by like a mile down, so that's a bit unfortunate, but it is basically still usable if you do get her at MLB, but MLB is also quite a lot to ask for this card, especially for it not to be like an S tier, so probably not something you want to chase after, right? Alright, next up we got is the Christmas Mayano Top Gun. So this one as 0 dupes is going to be an E tier, which makes sense, so that's not too important. What's more important is, you know, it being more duped up, right? So at MLB, it's going to be here in D tier, so it is a bit lower by 1 tier for Kirasan Black, and yeah, by Kirasan Black, so Kirasan Black is better than it at MLB, right, by another tier, but it is also better than some of these 2 SR cards, which I don't think maybe I'm not too sure, but it is higher than MLB Silent Suzuka, and also higher than 3 dupes of Kirasan Black. So if we go to the global version really quickly here, and we go to Unity Cup, get these out of the way, that means that this one will probably be A tier. So this, at MLB it'll be A tier. Yeah, that's where it would be, because this card is lower than this card right here for Kawakami Princess. So Christmas Mayano Top Gun support card is going to be in A tier, like right here, right in between Kawakami Princess and then 3 dupes of Kirasan Black. So that's where it lands. So pretty good, but not like really good, so nothing too crazy with that one. And lastly, we have Marvelous Sunday, so let's take a look at where she will land. Alright, and like usual, most free-to-play cards don't really rank super highly, but as your dupes, it's going to be F tier, which, you know, makes sense. But sometimes, you know, some zero dupe cards can also be quite high, even though, you know, there's zero dupe. But if MLB, it's going to be up over here at E tier, so it's going to be better than zero dupes vodka. But it's going to be below these other SR cards that are MLB. So yeah, you can kind of already tell where this is going to be placed. So let's take a look at global really quick now to see where this one lands. But like, we're being honest, guys, it's not going to land super highly probably. It is going to land between D and C tier. So probably, yeah, between C to D tier is where this card is, I think. Yeah, so I mean, like, it's an option, but then you got these three SR cards over here, so it's like, you know. And like, hey, it's another option. It's a free card that it's MLB, so, you know, having a full deck of MLB cards is quite good. Not as great, but it is an option at the end of the day, so overall, not too bad, right? Finally though, let me say, overall, should you summon? Yes, you should summon. Summon for specifically the Uma banner. Probably can for sure skip the support card banner. Not really that necessary unless you want to throw a couple tickets, then sure. Otherwise, just fully focus on the Christmas banner. Once you get a great cap, that's all you really need. You don't really need BIWA unless you like BIWA, which I might try to go for BIWA a little bit, but I'm mainly going to go for a great cap. And that's basically about it. You can completely skip the support card banner. It is not really necessary. With that being said, I know this video is kind of been on for a long time, so if you guys have stayed for the whole thing, do consider dropping a like. I do really appreciate it, and it does help me out quite a bit. And yeah, also, you know, put down anything in the comments below if you guys got lucky with your pulls, yada yada, all that good stuff. But with that being said, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace and take care, everybody.